So the next step is a market review. And we spent so much time on market review in our last Lunch and Learn that I am not going to bore you to death with market review, but I am going to talk about it just like a snippet, right? And if you want to learn more about reviewing your market and creating buyer personas and getting all that put together, we have videos now, like 20-minute segments of the topics broken down from the last Lunch and Learn that you can watch. So the first thought is, who are you talking to? What value can you create that will help a person at a specific point in their life make a decision to use your service? That's like that developing that need and helping them evaluate things. So everybody is generally going to have a common interest, right? Yet there's all these different things to consider about them. So if we go back to carpet cleaning, people need their carpets cleaned at different times of year. It's probably fairly seasonal at times. I mean, you get all this sand and grit that they put all over my floors are definitely dirtier now than they will be at other times of the year, tracking in all the yuck. And then also people with kids, people with pets, kids. But the common interest is that they all have carpet and it all has to be cleaned. But who are they, and how do you need to talk to them about what their need is for your product or service in order to make a decision to work with you? And I think in some cases, especially like with a title company, you're like, what you don't know is what's going to get you in trouble. Like, this is what you don't know about working with all those other people that are going to get you in trouble. And a lot of home buyers don't even know. I can pick which title company I want to work with, and it just so happens that yours is right next to where they work, and so they don't have to go anywhere. It's like, right there. Anyway, but they don't know that. They're just doing whatever their real estate agent tells them to do. But that's a lot different conversation than what you would have with a real estate agent, because the reason that they choose to work with you is different from why I could make a decision to work with you if I knew that I could make a decision. Okay, so who is your target market? And we're going to think a little bit about the content that we're going to promote to them. Ultimately, all of the online marketing content that you make is going to be written to get people to read it. That's a pretty simple goal, right? So you don't have to write about what you do, but you do have to write about topics of value to your audience. It's all about giving back to them, right? So if you're going to try to talk to everyone at the same time, you're not going to actually talk to anybody specifically, and they're probably going to change the channel. With the example that we were just talking about with realtors versus residential home buyers, those are two very different markets. You don't talk to them both the same. The realtor is worried about their buyer, their seller, the experience that they're giving them, whereas the home buyer or seller has a completely different reason for choosing their title company. It's totally different. So it's not the same. Some of them might overlap. Like, you're awesome and you offer snacks and you have a really nice conference room with really comfortable chairs and you have toys and maybe in-house babysitting, and all those things are awesome and they would probably overlap. But then there's other things that are going to be very unique. So I like to suggest to people to create buyer personas to help see yourself in the shoes of your target audience. And we have a whole segment on buyer personas from our last workshop. But basically what that is it's breaking down your different types of people. You give them a name, you put a little picture in there, and you think to yourself, what phase are they in their life? What is it that helps them make this decision? What goals do they have? What challenges do they have? How do I help them overcome these challenges? And from there, that's where you figure out, this is this person that I'm speaking to. And then it helps you kind of get your mind wrapped around all the stuff that you're going to say to them. If you have a huge list of people that you've worked with in the past, but you still are not drawing the lines, connecting the dots between who these people are together, the Small Business Development Center actually has services where they'll take your whole list of people and based on census data, will spit out a report and put them into like categories for you. It's cool. There's little pictures that go with it. And they sort of make your buyer personas for you, and then they also tell you where they think that your areas of growth would be. So for example, the only thing that all Tranquility customers have in common is that they all watch college sports. That's it. Other than that, we have people who just really need to have a lot of help with their internet, and so they want to pay a little bit more. And then we have people that really, really want to work with a local company, so they choose to pay a little bit more. And then we have businesses. And then we have the people who really, really, really want cheap, cheap internet. So they have another service from us. But they all watch college sports based on census data. Hey, that was good to know. I guess if I'm going to run an ad, I'm going to do it in the sports section. So the thought is that we're going to attract these strangers. We're going to make them into visitors. We're going to convert them into leads, close them into customers, and then delight them into promoters. That's the whole process that we're talking about here. So once again, when we're using this direct sales approach, I'm not saying that it's not appropriate, because it is appropriate at some times. But remember that you are talking to people at the end of the buying cycle, and you want to facilitate this relationship throughout it. And then indirect sales is also people at the end of the buying cycle, but it hangs out more here. Does that make sense? Because they're looking at customer testimonials and case studies that you've given them. But they still identified their need and figured out that there was a solution that you could offer that would fit their need. Does that make sense? So you're still, though, talking to people at the end of the buying cycle. All these ducks with all their money. And then the thought leader and industry expert angle is usually where online marketing finds its niche, right? So you can use this angle in the first and second stages of the buying process to start building that relationship with people. And I call this the tow truck method, because if your car breaks down on the side of the road and somebody stops to help you and takes you to the gas station and helps you get that can of gas and takes you back to their car, you never forget that person. They're awesome. They're really, really awesome Good Samaritans. And that's the thought behind this type of communication online. All right, so fun statistic, 79% of small to medium businesses, this was from a LinkedIn study, found industry-specific news most valuable to consume and share, while testimonials and reviews from both customers and industry experts followed closely behind. So that falls into that second and third, that indirect sales and thought leader categories, right? This is the stuff that people are going to share. They don't go share your about page. They don't care. They need your about page, don't get me wrong, but they're not going to share it.